I call to order the April 10th, 2025 meeting of the Beauregard Parish School Board. Tonight, we have Ms. Jennifer Galloway, the Assistant Principal at DeRidder Elementary, for our prayer and pledge.
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly come to you today seeking your guidance and wisdom as we work to serve the students and community of Beauregard Parish. May the discussions tonight be characterized by respect, understanding, and commitment to excellence. Please grant everyone the wisdom to make decisions that benefit our students and foster a positive learning environment. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Item number 1, to consider adopting the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion to it? Thank you, Ms. Cynthia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Redler?
Let Ms. Shirley.
Okay, Mr. Shirley. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Item number 2, to consider adopting the minutes of the March 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Beauregard Parish School Board as published in the official journal. Did everybody have a chance to review your minutes that you've received? Was there any questions, any issues with those? We're all good. Can I please get a motion to adopt those minutes? Mr. Arshield, Ms. Cynthia, a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item number 3, to hear the superintendent's report. Mr. Insigne?
Thank you. We will have Ms. Isabella Palermo give us our student report for tonight.
Good afternoon, everyone. The month of March has been a fun and exciting month for schools across Beauregard Parish. I'm excited to share my report, so let's get started. Starting off with the Mighty Singer Hornets, this March, juniors and seniors dressed up and danced the night away at their masquerade ball-themed prom. Additionally, students were rewarded for their good behavior with a fun day to wear free dress and enjoy delicious snow cones from Kona Ice. Finally, baseball and softball teams continue to show their hard work and determination as they push further into their seasons. Maryville High School shined at the literary rally this March, where students earned multiple state qualifications and truly showed off their strong academic abilities. Meanwhile, Maryville's one-act play team impressed the crowd at the LSUE Drama Rally with their show Superheroes, earning a superior rating and placing second in the region, marking Maryville's 3rd consecutive state appearance. At the speech rally, Jolise Hill earned a superior rating and qualified for state, giving a special thanks to her wonderful speech coach, Alana Corns. To top it off, juniors Gracie Hennigan, Caden Spillers, and Camille Davis were accepted into the A Heck of a Summer program, while junior Audrey Bryant was chosen from over 30 applicants to participate in Beauregard Electric's 2025 Washington, D.C. Youth Tour. What incredible work. South Beauregard High School would like to start by promoting their 2nd annual Bright Day event on Thursday, April 17th. Hosted by the Student Council, this event is centered around celebrating their special education students by providing them a positive experience and an uplifting day to shine. South Beauregard would like to welcome anyone interested in joining as a participant or volunteer to come and help make an impact in the community. Next, the Lady K's girls basketball team wrapped up another successful season, continuing to perform excellently on the court. Meanwhile, South Beauregard Student Council assembled and donated 80 birthday kits to the CARE Ministry, with each kit including ingredients to make a delicious birthday cake and a special birthday card. This month, South Beauregard also had 3 female students represent at the 2nd Annual Women in Industry Forum, where they united with female mentors in STEM careers. LAIA's SWLA Women in Industry event showcased the many career opportunities that exist within industry. South Beauregard's fishing team also made waves at the LHSAA state tournament, with 3 teams placing in the top 10. Meanwhile, the FFA also impressed this March with their welding teams placing 1st and 4th in the Area 2 CDE, with 90 FFA students participating in the McNeese Invitational. In addition, 70 students also participated in the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Youth Program. Lastly, South Beauregard's academic teams excelled at the literary rally, with several teams now advancing to the state competitions, along with 5 outstanding FBLA members. From helping out in the community to showcasing their intelligence and hard work, South Beauregard High School students have certainly been on a roll this spring. East Beauregard High School continues to build their varsity cheer program with successful tryouts for both the varsity cheerleading team and the new 6th through 7th grade pep squad. Next, FCCLA students helped with EBE's backpack meal program, and the middle school robotics team stole the show and won the judges award at the LSU state competition for their interview and engineering notebook. Meanwhile, the band received a superior rating for stage performance at the LMEA, with 2 students even being selected for the very first Beauregard Parish Honor Jazz Band. Additionally, the pitching teams placed 7th and 11th out of 40 votes at the LHSA A-State Tournament, and junior student Kaylin placed 13th in veterinary science at the McNeese Judging Invitational. What amazing accomplishments. The Student Council is also getting involved as they prepare for Mental Health Awareness Month by hiding hand-painted inspirational rocks around the campus and the community, while the Junior Beta spreads kindness with morning inspirational quotes for elementary school students before testing. Finally, at the state FBLA, Bryceland placed 4th in Intro to Business Communication and 7th in Organizational Leadership, while Brealey earned 5th in Business Etiquette and 4th in Digital Citizenship. With all of this exciting news, there is no doubt that East Beauregard High School continues to shine with their academics, clubs, and community service. East Beauregard Elementary School has been full of fun news this March. The robotics team is preparing for the MSU Underwater Robotics Competition on April 12th, and to kick off LEAP testing, East Beauregard has been working hard to prepare and motivate students by holding a super motivational testing pep rally on April 1st with the theme, Give Your Very Best. Students were pumped up with motivational speeches, video clips, music, and even motivational video shout-outs to students from NFL Hall of Famer Kevin McVay, former NFL running back Tasher Choice, 2-time Super Bowl champion Anthony McFarland, South Carolina coach Don Staley, and many more. East Beauregard Elementary also shined at the Parish Fitness Meet, where students got energized and gave it their all. Finally, a special congratulations to Miss Rebecca Sneed, who was named as a semifinalist for the Louisiana Student of the Year program, Teacher of the Year program. She's a phenomenal educator for Beauregard Parish, and East Beauregard feels blessed to have her. Thruder Elementary School was full of energy this March as they hosted their annual fitness meet, inviting elementary students all across the district to come and participate in fun competitions. Thruder Elementary is also proud to say that they even came out on top as the overall school winner. Next, Thruder Elementary showed their support and celebrated World Down Syndrome Day by rocking their socks and hosting a fundraiser for the Relay of Life campaign. Finally, Thruder Elementary would like to welcome parents to come join in on their festive Easter luncheon on Wednesday, April 26th. They hope to see you there. Recently, Thruder Junior High School has been buzzing with exciting spring activities. Students celebrated Down Syndrome Day by donning their craziest socks, and family and consumer science classes celebrated St. Patrick's Day by hosting a festive shamrock hunt, where the winners received themed prizes and treats. In athletics, the boys and girls track teams placed first overall at the Dragon Relays, wrapping up their track season with a great success. Last but not least, Thruder Junior High's band earned a superior rating on stage and in sight reading at the District 5 Festival competition. Overall, Thruder Junior High students never fail to impress with their talent and spirit. Last but certainly not least, all 12 of Thruder High School's FFA teams who competed in the Area 2 career development events at Northwestern State qualified for the state competition, with multiple students ranking in the top placements. At the LSU A state competition, the floriculture team placed 3rd and the poultry evaluation team placed 4th. Meanwhile, the Student Council took several students to the district convention in Sulphur, as well as used their artistic abilities to decorate the sidewalks and courtyards with colorful chalk drawings in preparation for LEAP testing. Additionally, the FBLA took 14 students to the State Leadership Conference in Lafayette, where 11 competitors placed in their events, with 7 qualifying for the National Leadership Conference this summer. Next, DHS hosted the LifeShare Blood Drive, where an incredible number of students and faculty donated blood to show their support for the cause. Finally, the band has also been bringing home many accomplishments, receiving First Division Sweepstakes Award in both concert and symphonic band, and the recent District Festival assessment at McNeese. Additionally, several seniors participated in a handbell convention in Lafayette, and several students recorded solos and ensembles for the state solo and ensemble competition. The Sax Quartet also had an opportunity to play at the Wooten Theater Talent Show. Needless to say, the Dragons have been on fire this March. Overall, March for schools in Beauregard Parish was full of victories, and I could not wait to share with you what next month will have in store. With that, this concludes my March report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will have Colonel Lopez give a garrison commander report.
Good evening, how y'all doing? I really only have like 3 points that's been going on at Fort Johnson over the last couple months. First, the brigade that was deployed to Eastern Europe is making its way back right now, time now. I think we have about one more plane of about 100 and maybe 15 folks to come back, but they're converging back onto GRTC in Fort Johnson, so you'll start to see a little bit more activity going on at Fort Johnson over the next couple of months before we send the next deployment out to Central Asia, getting after some terrorist problems with one of our deployable hospitals. The rotations are fully back on right now. They seem small right now because it's Special Operations Forces kind of all around the state of Louisiana, including JRTC and Fort Johnson. But as we get ourselves through the summer, they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we start to see a lot of traffic kind of, all the way down to the port, all the way back up to, Alec and the airport over there. So 2 good things going on back in business. I do want to thank the faculty, the superintendent, and everybody else for coming to Fort Johnson and taking care of that education summit. I think that was really informative. You can let Mr. H know that we will put Beauregard first next year. Even though I won't be in the seat, I'll make sure that happens. But yes, pending any questions, that's what we got from GRTC. And one other thing, I do know that we're working, our liaison officers are working for an internship program. I think that's absolutely wonderful if you want to, compel the principals to put somebody up for an internship program. We are feeling the brunt of some executive decisions impacting the workforce at JRTC and Fort Johnson. There's a hiring freeze. We're not bringing folks on as we're retiring some folks and then losing the positions for them too. So one of the solves for that problem is the internship program that JRTC and Fort Johnson has, not only with high schools, but with also colleges around the area too. So big thumbs up to that. And I know we're 100% in board, well, at least y'all are 100% on board with Starbase. So I appreciate that too, because we did breathe some life into that and keep that thing on a respirator through May until we get more congressional funding to keep it alive across the United States. So depending on your questions, sir, that's what we got from JRTC and Fort Johnson.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is a reminder to the board that LSBA Capital Conference will be held from 10:30 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, April 30th in Baton Rouge. Attendance is worth 5 COUs. Attendees stay at the Capitol for the visits and 3 COUs if leaving after lunch. Deadline to register is April 17th, 25. Please see Ms. Archer if interested. Also, annual financial disclosure forms are due at the Ethics Administration Office by May 15th. If you want Ms. Archer to file these for you, please sign the forms in your folder tonight and return them to her. And then the following contracts will be renewed upon the standard board-approved 2-year administrative contracts. Ms. Tanya Damaski, Principal at East Beauregard High School. Christian Bell, Assistant Principal at East Beauregard High School. Max Spikes, Director of Special Education Services. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Inspinger. Let's see. Item number 4, to receive the financial reports for the prior month.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So I have good news this month. We've got some extra monies that I'm going to let you all be made aware of. But we'll start with our normal documents. We are right along where we normally are with our general fund. Everything has been funded in regards to salaries, benefits. We are still ahead on our revenues to our expenditures in general fund. We're still tracking right around to have the 120,000-ish left over at the end of the year for our reserve. Millage, your ad valorem. We are still getting some trickling in funds for our local tax revenues. We've received this past month, in the month of March, right around that, the 530,000 more in collected taxes for that revenue. Sales tax, you will see on both sales taxes that there was an increase. For sales tax 1966, we had an increase of 20.48% to have a revenue for collected in the month of March of $978,652. And on sales tax 90, you saw a 29.87% increase with a collected revenue of $965,788. School food service, I'm going to actually come back to that one. Your parish-wide debt, remember I explained at the beginning of the year, you have only 2 payments that come out of that revenue source that we get. You get your first one that we pay in September, and the second one is in March. Your September one is for interest payments only to our parish-wide debt. In March, it is for our principal and our interest earned. So we made a payment for the $6,577,623,000. That money will go to your bond 19 and your bond 23. That's what those monies go to. I'm not going to go over bond 23 we are going to be talking a lot of bond tonight anyways, but based upon bond, before I go to school food service, did anybody have any questions on what I said? Anybody? Okay. School food service, this is just kind of food for thought, okay? We are moving right along how we normally do with school food service. We actually just completed, or in the process of completing, our school food service audit. This was a very different audit than what the parish has prior had. And Ms. Terry can answer more questions than what I can give you. Once that audit is finalized, we will give you the results. But what my information for you this evening is, part of the audit, and we're thinking for next school year, was that we had findings based upon, let me pull up my wording. We had findings based upon our compliances for the a la carte prices for the extras that you can get with your lunches and the water that you can get with your lunches. There was also a there was also a finding in regards to the current plate cost of breakfast, lunch, and visitor lunch for non-program adult meal pricing. So for the last several years, and like I said, Ms. Terry can attest more to this if you have questions, we have undercharged visitors, adults, and staff for their meals that are coming into the schools. This is actually now a finding for the parish. So moving forward next year, food for thought, Ms. Terry will be looking at what those prices are, and she will probably be having to take the recommendation from the Department of Food Services as far as what that cost is going to be. I think she said we were undercharging on average about $1.50 per plate for non-children, because remember, our school food lunch program is for children. So we were essentially giving away food.
Do
the
you know how
adults.
much they were charging now?
What we're charging now, I don't have that information. If you have those questions, what you want for as far as what we charge for adult plates, I don't know. Oh, hi.
For adult meals right now, it's $2.75. That's for the teacher meals and everything. For visitor meals, it's $3.75. We were undercharging on the adult meals. $3.13 was actually the price. So that's what the difference between $2.75 and $3.13 is what we were undercharging on lunch. Breakfast was a little bit more because our adult meal prices for breakfast, we only charge like $1.50, and that meal price was over $2. So that's a significant amount right there. It was over $1 difference.
And what was the reasoning for that? What was the reasoning for that?
We just never went up on the
Okay.
pricing. That was one of the things that we just never did. And we've got a new audit company going through everything, and this audit, I've never been through an audit like this before. I mean, it's basically been a 6-month audit. And that's one of the things that they said, we've never been told that before. Since I've been doing food service, we've never gone up on the pricing.
Okay.
I've never been told that we needed to go up on the pricing. This is the first that I have ever been told that. So based on that, we will be looking at increasing those prices for the adult, which is the faculty staff and the visitor meals.
What's the rough cost on faculty staff? I'm just curious why we haven't, or maybe we have, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, why we haven't looked at covering meals for our staff since we basically have a captive audience.
Where would we
This is a
find that?
child nutrition program. It's not an adult meal program.
I'm just wondering what the expense would be.
Basically, you would have to cover the meal cost and plate cost. And that $313 is actually the price from a year ago. And as we all know, groceries have gone up. So that price is actually not current now. That's just the finding from them, what they are auditing, because they're auditing last year. So that price is gonna be more like $350, $375 for an adult meal. That's our actual plate cost. That includes your food cost, your staffing, everything. That's what it costs us to actually put that plate for that person. So you're looking at, from last year, the number was, we served 7201. That was lunches. We served 7,201 lunches to adults. So you figure you multiply that by whatever that plate cost is, that's what it would cost general fund or wherever it would have to come from. And the reason that we can't cover and let the adults eat free is because it is a child nutrition program. We are reimbursed for the child meal, not the adult meal. We get zero for the adult meal. So that's, and I get that question a lot from faculty and staff. Why can't we eat free? Somebody's got to pay for it.
And
Yeah.
that's where I was asking.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what the rough cost would be, because,
Right.
and like I said, maybe I'm way off base, but, you know, teachers have to be with the classes during lunch, or somebody just don't know how much, and I don't know that
Money's got to come
side.
from somewhere.
Didn't know how much was prepared each time. Just a
Right.
lot of things.
But you open up a can of worms, because there's gonna be some teachers that bring their own lunch, and they're gonna be wondering, how do they get that compensation back to them? So,
Understood.
be something to talk about.
And that was why I wanted to, we haven't completed the audit. I know this, like Ms. Terry said, this conversation has had a lot at the school level. It's questioned a lot to Ms. Terry. So food for thought as we start moving into our bids on food. I mean, just everything in general, especially when we present the budget to you. I gave you the bad news first. Yay. Okay. I'm sorry, it's the end of the week, y'all. I need
No, I'm
something.
with you.
Okay.
I'm with
So
you.
we got word through our allocations that in the month of April, we have been funded an additional allocation of $20,756. This money is going directly to each of the high schools' ag programs. That is what needs to be spent by. Each school, the principal and the bookkeeper and the ag teacher today was notified of these funds. They were each giving what their funds are at the school level. It's based on their student counts at the school level inside that program. They have all been told that they need to, here's the kicker, they give us the money in April, but our ag teachers have to have this money spent and received and in use by June 30th of '25. So I gave them to go shopping today. And they know that the purchases that are coming from this are audited because this is something that goes into our AFR. So the state will be looking to see that these funds were allocated where they needed to be and spent where they needed to be. So,
You
So-
said 20,000 for the parish or per school?
for this parish.
Okay, 20K.
Yeah, 20K for the school. So it really, if you look at it, the more students that are in the ag program at each location, can I say that correctly? That's when money's
So,
dispersed.
so I would assume that each ag program and each teacher knows exactly what they need, and the funds that'll be spent, or the items that'll be spent on
Yep.
are gonna
And
be
they
needed,
have-
but is there a guideline though?
Yes,
to
there
where-
is a guideline. I
Okay.
gave the schools, the bookkeepers, the principals, and the ag teachers the guidelines, so I'll let you all know that just because this is information that's normally not found. They can be utilized to purchase instructional materials and supplies for students in vocational agriculture, agribusiness, and agri-science courses. So really anything that we can put under the 556 object or the 557 object, so.
Actually, basically, it ended up being a little over $41 per student whenever I divided it out. which is
That's really good. Yeah.
So that's what I had. Did you all have any questions regarding those financials? Okay.
Thank you.
Well, have a good weekend.
All right. Let's see. Item number 5, to consider awarding bid for South Boulevard Elementary Classroom Edition number 2.
Good evening, y'all.
Hey, Miss Kelly.
My stuff. Okay, bids were received on Tuesday, March 27th, here at the central office for the South Beauregard Elementary School Classroom Building Edition number 2. We had 3 bids received. I believe you all got the tabulation. You should have. We had KJ Development, Pat Williams, and A. Paul Mall. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yeah, Alfred Palmer, okay. The lowest bid came in with K&J Development with a base bid price of $1,720,000. There were no alternates on this bid, and it came in well under budget. So I recommend to you tonight to award the bid to K&J Development for the South Beauregard Elementary School Classroom Building Edition number 2 project.
Quick question.
Yes.
K&J has recently built something for us. Do you recall what some things they've done for us? Do anybody recall that?
Was it East Beauregard, I believe?
That's-
Yeah.
that's
And
what I
then
was wondering.
It was the
Softball,
East
baseball.
Beauregard.
I think, no, it wasn't the,
They did the East kindergarten
The kindergarten.
yeah, that's what it
pod,
was.
yes. And I think they are working
Oh,
with,
looks good.
at South too.
Yeah. Awesome. Yep. All right, is there any more discussion? Okay. Can I please get a motion to consider awarding this bid, or awarding this bid? Ray? Ray, make a motion. Garrett, second. Jarrett, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Bid awarded.
All
And the
right.
dirt work has already been done on that site, so they should be able to start very quickly.
Good deal.
Yes, I talked to Brad this week and he said they are ready. I can email him if you approved it tomorrow and he will start with the contracts and get them to us early next week so they can hit the ground running.
Sounds great. Okay. Item number 6, to elect a representative for the Beauregard Parish Industrial Tax Exemption Program, ITEP Committee, which will provide input to the state on industry submitted requests for relief for payment of property ad valorem taxes in accordance with state guidelines.
So I received information from the police jury through one of our lawyers that said that this person would be the liaison from the board to the Louisiana Economic Development Board, and they would conversate with that person, and they'd be your spokesperson to the economic development, so.
Sounds great. Is there any
Cheers.
nominations?
I'll nominate.
Okay, I have Garrett. Any other nominations?
Do you want it?
I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Y'all will. That'd be good.
Both
I'll be the guinea pig.
Okay, so since there's no other nominations, I guess, congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
You're gonna do great, Garrett.
Thanks.
All right, item number 7, to consider approving a vote for metal detectors, weapons detectors for parish schools.
All right, I'm back. Okay, one item on our current bond project list, if you remember, was to purchase metal detectors for all of our schools. After much research, I can't say that word, and discussions by myself, Mr. Ensminger, Mr. Jocelyn, I am recommending you to approve the purchase of 20 open gate metal detectors for our parish. Those come in the base amount, the total base amount of $370,020. That includes the training costs, which are required. This price will go up if we choose to add more of the base plates, the suction cups. You'll see that on the quote. The base plates are used so you can take them outside. They are very heavy, but those base plates extend further than the little detectors, and you can put sandbags on them to give them the extra stability. If, you know, a school wants, hey, we want all of our metal detectors to have those, they can be purchased at the additional cost, which is on the quote.
Each metal detector weighs 25 pounds.
Yes.
They have a handle on them.
They have a
so
handle.
they're easily portable. We can put
Yep.
sandbags on them at a outside event, or we can put suction cups on them and stick them down to the tile floor, so we can use them in the schools.
Yep,
I think,
they're very portable.
They will move about 500 people through them in about a
15
15-minute
minutes.
period.
Yep, once
So
trained,
they
it's
can move a
controlled.
Pretty good crowd.
Yep, controlled by an iPad, an iPhone, Android, whatever. And the training all includes setup, training on the app, walking people through that.
How
all
did we
of
come
it.
up with the number 20?
Mr. Holly.
Okay, so main entrance,
I was given the number by Mr. Holly.
Okay.
On the,
So we talked about it, there's 13 schools,
Mm-hmm.
so that would equip everybody with one. And, you know, there was some discussion, you know, at the lower elementaries, but we've had cases nationwide where even
Oh,
kindergarten
absolutely.
and first graders brought a weapon in for some reason.
Yep.
So we can do that, and that will cover, and then the high schools will receive extra ones, so they can move crowds through, visitor side, home side, so we can encompass all of that.
Okay.
And that's been the tough part, running them through the standard metal detectors, and I did that for 9 years over at the alternative school. It would pick up, if you didn't set it right, it would pick up small things, or you set it too liberally. This is, not to disclose all the security measures, but it will pick up density. And that way we can set it, it's got 3 main settings, and we can move people through, but still be secure with who's moving through there.
How long is the warranty?
I am not sure on that. They do come with the warranty, but I will have to ask school specialty. That's who we are buying them from through the Equalis Co-op group.
You don't keep the old ones just in case of emergencies?
Yes,
We'll
yes.
have those as well.
Mr. Eaton, just practically, like, I think about some of our schools, especially some of our high school campuses that are a little bit more open, you know, think about South, think about maybe Doringer, like, how would this work with getting students onto campus in the school day? Is it just we'd have to move everybody to one central entrance, like everything else would have to be locked down, and students, like, practically, what does it look like?
Well, for the bigger schools, we at least have 2, possibly 3 with that 20 number. It just depends how they flow and how they're set up. So, and what happens is with the other ones, we have to take a book bag, and we have to take everything out of it and move them through. And it's a slow process. With this, everything but a Chromebook will pretty much go through it. And so we can move them through very quickly. We can set it up on the bus lane, and then parent drop off. That would pretty much cover us. It's south. The upper and the high school will work together, using it for different entry points. But we should be able to facilitate that.
So the main parent drop-off and main bus drop-off would kind
Yes.
of be the ideal location.
With the high capacity, we could funnel them through, and it won't take near what it's
Yeah.
doing with
Okay.
the older models.
Okay.
And that's been the drawback, because you
Yeah.
get people lined up, and you get, we've done that at the schools, but I mean, you get that rush at 7:30.
Yeah.
And you got 100 people backed up, and
Mhm.
it just bogs down. But with this setup, and Calcu's moving everybody through, even at the larger schools, Sulphur
Yeah.
and Barb. And
Yeah.
We've talked to them, and it's the same type detector, and we feel like we can.
Are we trying to also capture the athletic activities, games, sporting events, this and that? So
Yes.
are these mobile? These can be
Yes, like he
mobile?
said, they
They're
have a
25 pounds,
handle.
They have a handle on them. They can just simply be picked up. Now, we'll probably have to take the plate off of them,
Because you're
We're
saying
moving
that, that's what's heavy.
The base plate's 25
plate,
pounds
okay.
itself, so in
So that puts
total
that 50
would be a
pound.
50, but they're easy, the base plates are easy to come on and off. But that's why I said if a school just wants to keep base plates on and not the suction cups, but they are easy on, easy off, and with that handle that just turns horizontal and you just do.
So
Okay.
Or you can put them on a cart.
we're planning on
And,
using these at football games?
yes, each high
And
school will
what
have at
meetings
least,
are we-
pardon?
What are we looking for? Like, bring your pocket knife or send them back?
I don't think you're supposed to have to.
Because I can tell you now, I've been to those schools, and you walk a quarter mile, and you get to the gate, and you find out, oh, no, you gotta go put that back in the car. That really, I don't like that at all.
But I don't think you're supposed to have them on campus anyway, though.
I can give you some of those details. I'd rather not give you all the
No, no.
security details here in the, and we talked about those things, what it would detect and what could go through and what would be
There are
acceptable.
certain, yeah, there are
And,
certain things.
I can get you those details.
Thank you.
Warranty wise though,
That's-
I just looked it up. So it's a 2-year warranty from the manufacturer. Chargers have a 5-year warranty and batteries have a 3-year warranty. But they have a longevity of 20 years.
Kelly,
I'm
I-
sure you can buy an extended warranty with it though.
I don't see, do we need it pricing on additional batteries, for running
They
them all day?
actually
and
run
then
off of, what she said, like, drill.
You have AC.
Yeah, it's Milwaukee Tool.
Yes, a drill battery.
so we
It
can
runs
purchase
off
those
of
separate.
2, so, if a school wants some. They do have a very long life once charged.
I saw
They
14
also-
hours, I think. for
Yeah,
two
you
batteries.
can buy a AC adapter, so if you have one that's stationary for, kindergarten or KR Hanchey or, that aren't moving and it's near a wall, we can get an
What I
AC
was
charger and plug it
thinking
in.
is have them for the school day, and then if we had football that evening,
Yeah.
we're running.
They are very useful, and I know we don't always like to think about, putting our kids through these on a daily basis, but in reality, this is the way the world is going. And this company, why we chose them, is they have done with Lafayette, they've worked with a lot of local parishes, and unfortunately, this is, what we're going towards. And I'd rather have a company and work with someone that I know other parishes have. They come highly recommended. Like I said, they work through the co-op. One thing is, we think of metal detectors and we think of these big metal things and our kids are walking through. If you looked on the quote or any of the documentation that was sent, we can order sleeves for these. It'll have the logo,
Spirit.
it'll have the school name, the school logo, and then on the flip side, it'll have like BPSB with ours. So it makes it a little bit user-friendly, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
but-
Just looks like they're walking through two poles.
Right,
You know,
so
doesn't
it
look
kind of
like a-
masks it a little bit instead of,
And then also because it's, a little more selective in detecting things, you're probably gonna have a lot less false positives and,
Correct.
And so most kids are just gonna walk through and not even realize what's
right.
happening.
And if you
So-
want, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there. If you just search for Open Gate, there's Louisiana schools and just in general, and you'll watch them. The kids just come up, they hand their laptop or their Chromebook through, and boom, it's really fast.
It was. The video is really good.
Are we able to pay the state contract
The co-op is much like a state contract right now because these are expensive and you get such a big discount. A co-op is just like state contract, but there is no one on state contract that does these right now. So you go to a co-op and they do the same thing. So companies bid out, this is the price, and they do it. So we don't have to bid it.
Should we need one service, what's the turnaround on it?
I'm not sure about that. Again, like the warranty. If we have questions, school specialty is available, or Open Gate itself would be the ones I would go to.
The last thing I would say is I would just, since we're purchasing 20 and since we're gonna get a better price at that amount, right? So maybe go through it one more time and just make sure we don't need another 1 or 2 or 3, right?
Backups.
So while we're doing this, so.
Kelly, do you know where this will be funded from?
This is bond.
The bond, okay.
Yep, this was a line item on our bond, current bond project.
That's right.
All right, any further discussion? No? All right, so can I please get a motion to approve the quote for metal detectors and weapons detectors for the parish school?
Second.
Scott?
Second.
And, oh,
The let Mr. Archie.
okay.
Hard to hear over here.
It is, I don't, you gotta talk. All right, so, Mr. Arshield, motion, second by Mr. Sanderford. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes. Number 8, to consider awarding bid for DeRidder High School football field lights upgrade.
Okay. They took CD Morgan Associates wrote the bid for all of our LED lights upgrade projects. We have 3 different ones you'll see per the agenda. The first one we're gonna go to is DeRidder High School. On March 31st, they received the bid for that. The base bid was $182,900. And that was the bid was by Casey Electric. As you can see, they had 3 bids come through for DeRidder. And I recommend awarding the bid to Casey Electric.
I do have a question about just each of these items, and they're all different priced. Is it, why are they different if all football fields are the same? You know, just to simply ask.
You got this, Mr.
It just
Attorney?
a general explanation would be fine. Like,
It was the way they're wired, is what I understood from pole to pole. Some of them were a centralized thing and some of them were, each pole was wired differently. And then the Maryville, we found one tower that is in danger of falling, so it's gonna have to be replaced.
Okay.
It's rusted off at the ground. So it's a big thing.
So it's not just a simple light swap out, like we're talking some poles, some.
Yes. So it is some electrical wiring, and then the pole at Maryville is the reason of the extra cost there.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, can I please get a motion to award bid to KC for $193,600?
$182,000.
Or $182,900.
So made. Make a motion.
Okay. Ryan made the motion, Mr. Arshield second. All those in favor, please say aye. No, he's any opposed? All right, motion passes. To consider awarding bid number 9, to consider awarding bid for East Beauregard High School football field lights upgrade.
All right, this is the same as DeRidder. We had 3 bids. You can see up there, Geosport, Integrity, KC. The lowest bidder was KC Electric at this one with a base bid of $198,600. So I'm recommending you approve KC Electric with this bid.
What are the alternatives?
Was my question.
What?
What are they adding
Alternates.
that alternative price to it
It's
for?
not the contingency, is it?
That was if you want extra work, like if extra things done, from my understanding, like controlling from a cell phone. And Mr. Holly said no to the alternates.
Okay.
Okay.
The alternatives. So we are going with the base bid on all of those. Now, if there are other things that was included in that, Mr. E.
Not
no,
aware of that.
He can say, but that's, when I asked about it, that's what I was told by Mr. Holly.
How much are the contingencies, do you know? And I meant to ask that on earlier.
The total for all 3, like how much was budgeted?
Well, but yeah, the contingency, it says
the-
it includes the contingency. I was wondering,
I don't know the exact numbers. We budgeted $675 for these. In total, they come to $596.
okay,
So we do have a,
have a little extra.
yes.
Okay.
And
That-
anything
we wanna
extra
make
will
it
go
a
towards the
vehicle.
next fields. But if that helps, that's what
Yes.
our budgeted number was.
No alternatives.
All right.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll
Mr.
second it.
Green. All right, motion by Mr. Green, second by Mr. Sanderford. All those in favor, please say aye to award bid for KC Electric for $198,600 for East Beauregard football field lights.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Number 10, to consider awarding bid for Maryville High School football field light upgrade.
All right, Maryville, as Mr. East said, has the extra cost because of the pole, I guess.
Yes.
Out of the 3 bids between Geosport Integrity and KC Integrity came in with the lowest bid of $215,041. So I am recommending awarding that bid to Integrity Electrical and Instrumentation in that amount.
So we can't will and deal it this time with KC, huh?
Nope, nope. Nope.
I'm sure we'd get a good price on that one.
All right. Any other discussion? Can I please get a motion to accept this bid?
I'll second.
You got in there
Thank
fast.
you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I do have a real quick question. Why do we bid these out separately? Why were they not?
They
bid
are
as one?
considered, if they were one, it would have been over the 250. And so we would do it together. This way, CD Morgan considered each one a different project. So then you could send, like, they sent the bid out to certain companies.
Oh, okay.
And brought
Okay,
it. So
I
this
see.
way, it keeps them separate, so it doesn't, it's not all one company
I see. Okay.
doing it.
Overall, you would have got a better price.
I don't know. I mean, you would think. Okay, so motion by Mr. Arshield, second by Ms. Lafitte. All those in favor to award bid to Integrity for $215,041 for the Maryville High School football field lights upgrade. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number.
Thank ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 11, to adopt a capital improvement plan for the 2025 bond proposition.
This is a sheet of additional items I received yesterday.
So the top one is Ms. Weldon's recommendation over at East Beauregard for some additional items. And then Mr. Arshill went through the Ritter schools and had some additional items there.
You were busy, Mr. Arshiel. And I also have something, after speaking with the principal over at East Elementary tonight, we were discussing further a few smaller items to add on there to include their little gym, which is their barn, and additional fencing that they'd like to have over near the kindergarten classrooms for like a track, like a little walkway.
Mr. Arshaw, I went through the list that you'd given us, and I went to some of those schools and looked at some of the smaller projects, and it was stuff that our maintenance people could do, so I just told them to write a work order, so we could get that done, and we can handle that in-house. Well, that's the reason it's not exactly all of them.
Okay. So any discussion on these capital improvements? I know that Mr. Hawley was wanting to get this finalized so that we can get it to print immediately and sent out to all those involved.
If we approve it tonight, we can get the trifold printed and folded tomorrow. We can get it out to the schools Monday. It'll give us 4 days for the teachers to see it before the Easter break. Because once we come back from Easter break, we have a week, and then we have 4 school days, and then the election will be May 3rd.
Yes, yes,
So
because that
we're
is
trying
upon
to get
us.
it out as quickly as possible.
All right. Is there any discussion on these capital projects? I believe that there was an email that was sent out that has some other ones.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing the property that we were discussing in the last board
Yes.
about, around South Boulevard.
All right, on your page 38,
Yeah, I think there was a
on the
bullet point.
There is
the far right-hand column, Ms. Bridget Evans recommended that we spend $15 million on the school, but she didn't include anything else. So I went in and manipulated the numbers because we talked a number of maybe 1.8 for land acquisition. So we put that in there, and then reclaiming the sewage pond, so we put that in there, and we took off a couple of items, like she had included to tear down the junior high building, which I'll discuss not to do, and to revise the building amount down, and then we took off about $170,000 off each one of the other schools, trying to come in, because the bond's $30 million. So we tried to adjust it accordingly across the board.
And there, like 30 million is the minimum that bond. I know I've seen in the past where we actually get a little bit more when it's actually finalized. I know Mr. Sluter usually gives a very conservative number,
Yes.
so I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed for another 500 to million.
Really?
Well,
Me
I mean,
too.
just from what I've seen.
Yeah, but I think the last two have been that way. So, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Did you see it, David?
On page,
Page
look at
39.
39.
There it is, right there.
New school possible,
That's great.
possible 1.8 for
Mr. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, I was looking at the email that you sent from Bridget, and her breakout of South Boulevard. It's looking like the school building itself is 15, not 12. Like, it looked like their number was 18, so what is how do we bridge the gap, I guess is what I'm saying. So,
You just have to refine the square footage if we come in at 30 million, but if that's the minimum, then hopefully we will have a little bit more there to play with.
okay.
We need to keep in mind too that this is all very preliminary.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to back us into a corner, where we're going to only allocate $15 million for this, and we go out or whatever, and it's 16 and a half. I'm like, oh, I just don't want to back us into a corner with some of these figures. Like, I just want us to, as a board, to understand that like, these are all preliminary figures, and we can't, no matter what community it is, like, we can't hold it like this, because sometimes.
We're not going to put the numbers out there. I
Right.
mean, that's not a defining thing from y'all unless y'all vote that way, but.
No, I don't think we should.
Right. But if we just put the project list on there, and then, like the South Boulevard classrooms y'all just bid on, they came in at least $300,000 under budget.
Mhm.
And we're seeing a decline in some of the materials and construction costs at this point from what we saw 2 and 3 years ago. So hopefully we'll have that money there.
As long as we buy American made, don't get no tariffs.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were all just on the same
These
page,
ranked
and
in order.
and
I just adjusted the number so we would still hit the 30 is what I
yeah,
was doing.
I understand. Yes, sir.
Just trying to give you an idea.
Absolutely. I'm good with that.
All right. Is there any other discussion? Did you guys have
What
any
is,
questions?
how are we gonna decide, is this the set order?
No.
That's what I'm wondering, how will we,
No.
or we're just gonna allocate?
This is just the project list to go out to the board.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the items that we're committing to tackling with the bond as money, as we have enough money to do.
That's what I was
we're
trying
going
to put
tackle
clarity
this
out
project.
of.
Yeah.
Okay.
in no
We did.
particular order.
That's what I was trying.
But I think priority is South Beauregard.
Well, yes, but also, when we did the last bond, we categorized it so that we would make sure we get A done and then category B done.
Yes.
But the way that we're structuring this particular bond, we're more allocating to each area to an extent, so there's, it's kind of hard to do what you're asking about, not asking about, but we're taking a little bit different approach with this bond, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and as the funds are made available though, and I don't know how they are made available and to what amounts they come in, but South Beauregard High is gonna be taking the priority, I would assume, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it has the more
Yeah.
dire.
Some things are gonna have to, need to start getting done though, because it's gonna take a while to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of these things are gonna start acting on, yeah, spending your money.
Yeah.
You can't completely wait for something
And I-
like unfortunately.
So low hanging fruit maybe?
Yeah,
We can- we
exactly.
can-
Yeah, there'll be some things that are done immediately and some
Yeah.
will take longer, you know, so.
Okay.
All right. So is there any other discussion? You guys good? Any other questions? All right. Can I get a motion, please, to adopt the capital improvement plan for the 2025 bond proposition? One question?
Quick question.
All right. What you got?
This is off the wall. Let's say the stars misalign and we get into another DES where COVID, everything, whatever else, hurricanes, whatever hits. And the price, what's our contingency plan?
My ideal thing would be, hopefully we can get that locked in before that.
Well, we don't have to accept that bid.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Yeah,
say. So
or
ultimately,
that.
we're a long way away from even getting a bid, and then if it comes in too high and we don't have the funds or
Okay.
we just shoot it
And I'm
out.
unfamiliar
We don't have
with
to.
how the.
$18 million worth of lipstick we put on that pig over there.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that was the big argument back then.
Yes.
We went over, does not mean we had to accept it. The previous board chose to accept it.
So if you don't
Allowed
accept,
to sell.
Would that money can just be used however? Because I was under the understanding for this.
that was
You
kind
still
of where I
have
was
to
going
use
toward
it.
priorities.
Yeah.
You have to try to attempt to use it to what you're signing up for. Now, if you have a surplus, then we would probably meet back in the board and determine how to spend the money differently.
Some of those discussions were to shorten the building up.
And it might
I
be
mean,
that.
and that was,
Yeah.
It might be a situation where we build part of the building similarly to how it was done at South Florida Elementary, where it's easy to add on additional. Like what we just did at South Florida Elementary improved earlier,
Yeah.
all the dirt work was done with the previous construction, but it was cheaper just to get that dirt work done then. So some of that stuff can prep in.
Just when we get locked in.
Right, so we need to, we have to shrink it, we definitely need to build it to where it can be expanded.
Okay. Any other questions, y'all? Questions? All right. Motion to adopt the capital improvement plan for the 2025 bond proposition. Mr. Ray Bowman made a motion. Ms. Cynthia, second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes, sir.
thank y'all.
All right. So I have no other business. Anybody else? Good, good. All right. Nope.
So maybe.
Mr. Shirley, Mr. Redler. All right.
Cynthia, you could game ball tonight. You could game ball tonight.